You know, it's been a while since I talked about anime on this channel, or at least I think it has. So let's talk about one of the currently airing shows, specifically Kage no Jitsuryokusha ni Naritakute, or The Eminence in Shadow, if you want to go with the English title. First off, the show's weird, especially if you watched the first episode, and only the first episode. I stuck it through, even though the first episode kind of sucks dick. But, yeah, it's a weird show. It's a kind of power fantasy show with a semi-self-inserting main character, but he at least has some elements of a personality and a goal of being the strongest thing ever, so he can withstand a fucking nuclear blast. But hey, whatever. Again, that first episode, I'm going to talk about that right away, because that, I think, is the worst part of the show. Like, it genuinely is just, like, really weird. Because, like, you get the backstory of, why he, you know, and what he's trying to do, and, you know, him trying to be able to withstand a nuke later into the show in episode 6 with the, you know, the absolute classic, atomic scene. That probably sounded awful on the mic. I'm sorry for attempting to recreate it. But, like, you get it there. So the first episode is just, like, unnecessary, I think. I don't really know what it adds. Maybe it'll add something as we get more episodes, because we're only, like, as our recording is, I think, 8 into 20, I think is the amount of episodes the show's getting. So some of the stuff that's revealed there might get explained later on. I do have, like, a brief theory that, the girl with the black hair in the past, Nishino, whatever her name was, kind of ironic, given that she didn't like the main character, at least in her world, because he didn't remember her name for most of the time. Anyway, I think she's somehow related to, like, or at least connected to the white-haired princess, just because they both have red eyes, similar hairstyle, and I can't remember if they sound the same either, but that's just my guess. I don't know. We'll find out. But from what I've heard, episode 1 is actually taken from volume 4 of the light novel, I think, is what I've read somewhere. So that's definitely why it feels weird, because it's massively out of place. But yeah, let me know about that if you are a light novel reader, and how that'll play into things later on, or if you even think it will. But the show, honestly, even though it is power fantasy nonsense and isekai bullshit, it's actually it's actually, like, really entertaining. Like, I didn't think the show would be as good as it was, given the name, and, like, the trailers and how it presents itself. I thought it'd be just, like, an edge-fest fuckery session with, like, a bunch of waifus for no reason. And while there are a bunch of waifus for no real reason, it is kind of an edge-fest from time to time, because the main character is deliberately overly edgy, but that's, again, part of the point. It's still really entertaining because of how, like, you know, non-serious it takes itself, with how the main character monologues to himself and how he thinks that, all the, you know, the rest of Shadow Garden are going along with his delusion, but in reality, his delusion is reality. But, you know, it's just one of those weird things that it's just playing out like that. It's kind of interesting, I guess you could say that, but hey. The show is genuinely, like, entertaining. The characters, for the most part, yeah, they're kind of one note. Like, our main character is, like, well, I guess he has two sides to himself. He has the, I want to more power, as we get at the end of the first episode, which was hilariously cringe. I actually laughed out loud. And also his, I'm just a background character, which does kind of get annoying, because he's obviously not a fucking background character, but obviously, well, you know, to us he isn't, but to him, I guess he thinks he is, even though he's always involved in all the major events that are going on in the world, and is also, you know, doing that shady shit behind, you know, with the Shadow Garden that's, you know, messing with the cult that is, like, the big antagonist of the entire world, so he's clearly very fucking important to the, like, overarching story internally within the world, not within the meta of, like, the story, because it's a story in an anime. He's clearly not a background character and just hasn't realized that himself. But anyway, that was a ramble, but clearly he has to know he's not a background character, because he also acts as Shadow, who is clearly very important, like, if he's just not a retard. That was an interesting rant. Look, this show's just interesting. If you haven't started watching it, or, you know, have seen clips and have been like, I don't know, it seems a bit cringe. It is cringe, and that's, like, why it's good, because it's hilariously just, like, over the top and stupid, and just doesn't take itself seriously at all. Similarly, kind of, to Demon King Academy. God, I can't wait for season 2 of that. But it's kind of like that. Maybe not as good as that in terms of how few fucks it gives, or at least how few fucks you hope it gives. Otherwise, if it's taking itself seriously, that's even better. Yeah, it's just one of those shows. It's just weird, over the top, and nonsensical. If you find that interesting, as well as the power fantasy elements and, like, the clips you may or may not have seen on YouTube or elsewhere, maybe go check it out. I think it's pretty decent. Not like the best thing ever, but it's pretty decent. Like, it's an enjoyable watch. And with all that said, maybe consider leaving a like, dropping a comment, tell me your thoughts in said comment. I ordered that, weirdly. Jesus. Maybe hit subscribe if you like this type of content. Maybe I'll do more anime content going forward if it starts doing well again. I say that. I'll do it if I want to. That's just not true at all. I won't do it if people want it. I'll do it if I want it. Although if people want it, I'll also be more likely to do it because then I'll want to do it. But I'm rambling on. Maybe hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see everything I'm putting out, because it's not just anime content, a lot of webtoon stuff. I read Blue Lock on Thursdays, and though I'm going into this now, this isn't really the type of video for it. But anyway, I've been Animosity, you've been you, and I hope to catch you all next time for another video. Ta-ta for now.